God so loved the world. He didn't deceive nobody. He loved every one of them, no matter what color.
Not everybody that's protesting is here to destroy anything.
That's right.
A lot of them are just trying to stand for something and speak out their hearts, because you know what? Our nation is broken right now. Yeah. Our world is broken. There is a broken system out there also. Yeah. There is people that operate with hatred and anger and racism. Yes. And the reality is we're here to stand in the gap and say, you know what, we're gonna meet in the middle. We're not on any side but God's side. That's right. Because in the end, that's what it's all about. What we're gonna do, can we just stretch down all the way? We're gonna create a line and we're gonna stretch our hands towards this building right here. And in that, we are standing in the gap for the authorities and the officers. So let's just line up. And we're proclaiming right now protection over them right now in Jesus' name. God, we thank you, Lord, for placing you would help us protect them. Well, your word says, Lord, that we are a light on a hill, that we cannot be hidden, Lord. So we just pray right now, Jesus, that you would be with us, Lord, as we stand in the gap, Lord, and as we are praying over our city officials, as we're praying over the sheriffs, as we're praying over the BPD, Lord, as we're praying, Lord, for our city. God, we just pray, Lord, that you would help us and direct us as pastors, as leaders, as people that care about our city, as people that care about, Lord, the mothers and fathers of this city. Listen, we don't agree with hatred. We don't agree with looting. We don't agree with stealing. We don't agree with murder. Lord, what we do agree with is your love and grace. Yeah. So right now we pray, Lord, that your love and grace would shine more than anything, Lord. More than anything, God. And we just pray for those cities right now. Lift up a shout of praise. 1, 2, 3. The blame is that it's every police officer, it's every sheriff, it's everybody that's in authority that is wrong. But the reality is we can't look at what one man did or what officers might be facing of racism or anger around the world to just hold every officer accountable to that same mindset, because that's not the reality. Everybody's not in that place of hatred and mindset. So today what we need to put on and let people know is that, you know what, not everybody's in that mindset of hatred towards African Americans. Not everybody's in that hatred towards the minorities. We have to realize that today God is calling us as a church to stand in the gap. So what we want to pray for is the renewing of the minds for the officers and those that are in this position. So God, we just come before you and we just pray that you would be with those officers around the world that are struggling with identity and their purpose right now, feeling fear. But your word says that perfect love casts out all fear. So we thank you, Jesus, that you're casting it all out. In Jesus' mighty name, let's all say it. Amen. If there's officers that come by or we seem to be walking around, we want to give waters to the officers also. We're not here. Listen, if you've seen my Facebook post and you came because of that today, I want to let you know this. We are not standing on one side of the spectrum and fighting against, we're not fighting against protesters. That's not what we're doing. And we're not fighting against officers. That's not what we're doing. We're of another identity. Come on. That's what we're here for, right? Because it's told to us in Galatians 2:20 that we have been crucified with Christ. It's no longer I who live, but Christ who dwells on the inside. So the reality is the life that we're functioning in is a different life. It's a different identity. And I want to encourage you today, we are not fighting against protesters. We're not fighting against officers. The Bible says we wrestle not against that, but against principalities. And their safety is important to us. Our children's safety, the future of your children is important to us. All right? So this is what we want to do. We want to put on love, man. That's the greatest thing. That's our greatest weapon is love. That's our greatest weapon. And I just really want to encourage you today. Listen, if you come on any other assignment, I'm casting that out and I'm rebuking that. In Jesus' name. Because that's what we came to do. We came to love. I'm going to share my story in a few minutes to all the protesters. I'm going to get their attention, trust me. All right? And I want to share, man, I grew up, and I'm going to share this with you guys right now. I grew up being confused about my identity. I grew up being confused about my identity because I'm 40% African American. I'm 20% Mexican. I'm Puerto Rican. I found out through Ancestry.com that I'm French. I'm like, man, I got all this stuff in me, and I'm just wondering, like, where do I stand? I grew up wondering, where do I fit in? Where do I fit in? And God just showed me, man, you fit in with me, son. Me, child.
You know, God tells us in His Word, this is the most powerful word that's going to get across. When we get on our knees and we call out to God in prayer. And He tells us here in Proverbs 28:26, not my words, but I'm a believer of Jesus Christ. He changed my life. Okay?
You gotta talk to people who are real to fix things.
Listen to me, baby.
Real people.
Proverbs
the
28.
police.
God is real.
The members
God
of the
is real.
community.
God is real.
Listen to him.
God is real.
Don't listen to me. Listen to him.
God is real.
He's saying here, he who trusts in his own heart.
Our president, we lift up every leadership position right now, God. And we just pray, Lord, that you would give them wisdom and understanding, like your word says in Proverbs. Because that's the reality, is a lot of people don't understand what it's like to be looked down upon. A lot of people don't understand what it's like. We will not stand and watch racism any longer. We will not stand and watch hatred any longer.
Enough is enough.
Lord, we just...
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Alright guys, we're downtown in Bakersfield. There was a prayer that was out from the footage you just watched. Protesters that came and the prayer was what's a prayer called? They had brought they were praying over the Washington City right now. It's shot. Protesters are trying to say bring peace. We're praying for the police department, for the protesters, the rioters, the guys who have done.
And that's what my heart is in. In the end, that's what my heart's at.
Earlier, we had a lot of people at the court building. They were praying, and I made it clear, prayer is not helping. But I want him to know that I respect his prayer, I respect his Christianity, and I'm gonna let him speak to you guys. But at the same time, prayer does work. God is real. Amen. But at the end of the day, He's not fixing the injustices. So that's what our fight is right now. But listen to this man and hear what he has to say.
I'm against hatred and I'm against murder.
Amen.
An innocent good man died, and it's not right. But what I do want to stand here and say is this: I don't want anyone to think that just because this happened to this man by a horrible officer, somebody who wasn't operating in the right mindset or heart, that counts for every person. And when I see signs that say F12 and every police, I just want you to know that every officer is not racist. Every officer doesn't hold hatred in their heart. Hold on. I'm talking.
Let him talk. Let him talk.
Listen. I'm against racism. I'm against hatred. I'm against murders that take place like this. And you might not.
His opinions don't mean you can't listen and respect.
See, that's where we need to learn. That's where we need to learn. Because in our age group, what happens is if we don't agree with somebody, we immediately shut them out. And I'm just speaking my voice. I've heard your guys' voice, and I'm in agreement with you. I don't like this. I'm not for it. But in the end, I want you to know that in other cities, people are looting and destroying things. And I want to make sure that we're praying for our city, that I'm praying for you guys, that I'm praying for the officers. I'm praying for protection for my children, for anybody. If you have children, your children, one day you will have children. You want them to be protected. And in the end, I just want to have grace. I'm praying for you guys. I want you to know that I'm here and I love you guys. I'm not for the deaths that take place like this. I'm not telling you how to protest.
Don't tell us how to protest.
I am okay with what's happening here. I love what's happening here. I'm in agreement with what you guys are doing. But what I'm not in agreement with was with my family that's in East LA, seeing stores being broken into. What I'm not in agreement with right now is with people that are being hurt, people that are being broken down. So what I'm doing is I'm standing here and just saying, you know what, I'm praying for you guys as you protest. I'm praying that we don't allow our anger to rise up and things to be destroyed. I honor and I respect what you guys are doing, and I appreciate you guys, and I love what you guys are doing. Thank you guys. Thank you guys.